2 meters wide. A precise hit will start a chain reaction which should destroy the station.
That's impossible, even for a computer.
It's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
This is Buffalo's original alternative, WBNY.
Then man your ships, and may the force be with you.
Hi, listen to 91.3 WBNY, Buffalo's original alternative since 1982, brought to you by the Buffalo State College Student Activity Fee. It is November 2nd. October went by very fast. About to be 4 minutes after 5, and we are here with Empower Hour. Farrah.
Hi, how you doing? I kind of miss being on.
We've had a rocky start to the show.
Yeah, it's going to be all right, though.
We're going to make it through.
Yeah.
So would you like to introduce our guest?
She can introduce herself.
I'm Lexi. I work with Weigel Health Promotions.
And how do you like it over there?
I love it, honestly. I started out doing an internship there last semester, and now I work there.
Where were you before? I remember you being a transfer.
Yeah, I actually never went to school here. I was a student at SUNY Potsdam, and then I did an internship here, and this is where I stayed.
How far is it?
About 5 hours.
How did you find out about Buff State then?
My fiance went to school in Potsdam. We lived on the same floor, and he's from Clarence, actually. So I moved down here. I knew I was going to be moving to Buffalo, so wanted to do an internship here so I could stay in the area.
So you go here now?
No.
You still don't go here?
No, I work here, but
I love Buffalo State.
I like it here, which is why I'm still here.
Do you see like a big difference within the schools?
No, actually, they're very similar. I guess the only main difference would be where my school was located is a super, super rural area, which is right near, it's about 45 minutes from where I grew up. But as far as like the school size and everything, that's really similar. It's about as close as you could get.
Oh, okay. What do you do here at Buffalo State? I know I work with you, but everybody else.
Yeah. Well, so I work, first I started out as an intern with Health Promotions, and I actually worked over at the front desk at Weigel at the health center for a little while, and now I'm back at Health Promotions, so helping schedule programs for all of our different fun workshops that we do.
Is there a big difference with working in Weigel and then working with the promotion side?
Yeah, definitely. And what I went to school for was community health, and that's the promotion side of it is really what I want to do, what I'm more interested in. I liked working at the health center, though. That was an interesting side to see of how the health center works, but promotion is really what I'm into.
Oh, what is one common factor or problem within health and college students?
Let's see. I think a big thing that people might not think of as a health problem is just balancing what's going on in their lives. If you spend too much time doing your homework and, all work and no play, you might get kind of stressed out, get the anxiety going, or if you go the other way too much, your grades start to suffer. I think it's all about balance.
Yeah. And what's like the best way to find that balance?
I think you just gotta kind of work it out. I definitely struggled with it when I was a freshman and even a sophomore, maybe even past that. But you just gotta figure out what works for you. I make lists. That's my big thing.
Oh, I love lists.
I make lists of everything.
I make lists, and then I make lists of lists I need to make.
Yes. Yep. I make lists of, I write everything down from like, okay, today I need to eat lunch and take a shower. I include it all. And that way you can look at it and see exactly what you need to do in the day. It helps.
Really take a shower? That's on the list?
Sometimes.
So not always. If I'm really, really stressed, that'll be on the list.
Oh, wow. What are some things to take away stress?
My favorite is I learned this from Paula Magical at Health Promotions, is the deep breathing exercise where you just breathe in for 3 seconds, hold it for 3 seconds, and breathe out for 3 seconds. And it's the easiest thing ever. You could be in the middle of an argument with someone. You could be in the middle of taking a test. No one's going to know you're doing it. You're just, and it helps.
You could save a life.
Yeah, exactly.
I know there's a trick too, like if the stress is going overboard and you're starting to have like a panic attack, you can look for like 5 things you can touch, 4 things you can smell, 3 things you can just physically see, and you could just go like down the list, and by the end of while you're actually like looked at all these things, you should be like come down.
Yeah, I really like that
heard
too.
that.
Mm-hmm. I actually haven't heard of that either, but I really like that. It's all about kind of shifting your focus from what's really freaking you out.
Yeah. I think it's the mind thing. Like as the days go by, it's like you probably get in like a stressful mode or a depressed mode, and then you have to think, oh, this is only a phase. This is only for right now. Maybe tomorrow will be better, but I think it's a mind thing. So, what are some workshops that are here for the students here?
We do all kinds of workshops. We have the I Heart Consent or I Love Consent. That's one of the biggest ones. We actually have had requests from other schools to start doing a few of their workshops for them, which is really cool because I guess Buff State is really ahead of the game with the whole consent and adopting SUNY's new policy. So that's awesome on our end. We were talking about stress. We're doing a lot of stress management workshops right now, especially in like the UNC 100 classes. All the freshmen talk about stress with them. Let's see what else. Therapy dogs. Again, stress. Therapy dogs.
Wasn't there things going on this week, commuter week or something?
Yes, that's I think that's USG that's doing that.
Yeah, that's not Lil White.
And I think we're going to be participating. We might have a table set up. I know they have a movie night. Tonight they have karaoke night.
The clean sweep, maybe. That's what you saw?
I got some kind of email saying something for commuter week, and there's something going on every single day, and one of them was like stressing less or something.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's a USG event. I'm not sure exactly who, but yeah, I saw that. We have our big week of events coming up for this month is the Great American Smokeout, which is on the 19th. And that whole week we're going to have events. We'll have specific things with our tabling going on. We'll have clean sweeps where we go around. I don't know if anyone's ever seen us out there picking up cigarette butts. We collected so many of them with just 4 of us in like an hour and a half maybe last week. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Do you display them somehow so that people like do somewhere in where people can see and be like, this is what you guys are doing to the community?
It's in the works. You'll see it around. Look in the glass case. We'll see.
The smell is so strong.
Oh yeah, we had to like triple bag it and then put it in a tote to get it to not. It's nasty.
What if you bake it?
Oh.
Bake what?
Like put all the cigarette butts. Like, what if you bake them? Won't the smell come out?
I don't know.
Maybe that would make it worse.
But I wouldn't want to put them in my oven.
You brought up I Heart Consent. For the people that don't know or are unaware of the movement, can you explain just a bit?
Yeah. SUNY's, again, Buff State is kind of ahead of the game, trying to jump ahead of SUNY's new policy. But the policy that they are working on adopting it's no longer no means no, but yes means yes. So saying that in the past it's like, oh well, he or she, they didn't say no, but maybe they were incapacitated, maybe they were too drunk to say no. So now it needs to be a yes. It has to be affirmative consent, saying that yes, I want to do this. And consent is just a process of checking in constantly, and it can't be like just because someone gave consent at the beginning of it doesn't mean that they like what's happening all through the rest of it. So it has to be an ongoing process, and we're just trying to educate students about that, because that's how you can avoid being on either side of it. Maybe you didn't understand that someone didn't like that, and then you find yourself getting in trouble for what you did and you honestly didn't understand, and then again on the other side of it where you are a victim. So just trying to educate everyone as much as we can.
That means no alcohol during this conversation, which a lot of people don't know. It's like if you're both under the influence, that doesn't mean
It's not okay.
that's a good yes or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can't give consent if you are under the influence of alcohol.
That makes it. It seems like that draws like a huge gray line. Because what about those relationships that are like completely consensual and both of them know it, but they're both drunk?
Exactly.
right. So it's like that's what makes it. You have a debate or like bring up conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And that's what in the consent workshops we get so much feedback and people want to talk about it, and that's awesome because that's what we want to hear. Because we want to hear what people's concerns are and what, like, oh well, what if we were both drunk? What's the situation with that? And it's all about just educating. These are the facts. I know it might seem like a gray area, but you might as well just avoid the gray area altogether. If that's how you protect yourself, that's how you protect your friends. It's just, we're just trying to get the word out there.
even if you're married, because I remember watching it was a Dateline story about a few years ago, and basically the woman was talking about her husband.
Mm-hmm.
She was saying how I guess he raped her and it wasn't noticed as rape because they were married.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe like once you get married certain things should go out the window.
No.
Especially something like that.
Mm-mm. And that's not how it works. People a lot, we hear that a lot in the workshops, is people will say, like, one of the questions that Paula will ask is, well, what if you're married? Do you still need that consent? And the answer is yes, you do need the consent. It's not, you're not just automatically entitled to someone else's body just because you are married or whatever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it seems like that happens a lot, that people think the second they're in some kind of relationship or married that there's no such thing as rape, but it happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a whole relationship and I never knew that I was being raped until somebody had told me, like, you don't have to. I'm like, but like what do you mean I don't have to?
Yeah, exactly. And that's, again, just educating people. It's a lot of people are learning new things like that they didn't even consider was a sexual assault of any form. And then we talk about it and they're like, oh, well, this happened to me. I didn't even realize that was wrong. I just thought it made me uncomfortable, but I didn't realize that it was wrong. And that's, again, all about educating.
I think more of it should start like in high school, not just like a freshman year of college, because it's like they teach you about sex education, but they don't teach you if you're in a circumstance how to get out, or it's okay to say no, or this can harm me in the future or possibly get me pregnant.
Yeah, that's with when I was in high school, it was, like you said, it was like sex education, but it was anatomy. It wasn't any education about sex. It was not about the act, not about relationships. They talked a little bit about if you were in like a physically abusive relationship, but I don't remember anything about like manipulation, which are things like physical abuse in a relationship is less common than when someone's just kind of getting into your mind, breaking you down, isolating you. So I think that is important to bring into high schools and even middle schools. And that's just even whether or not you call it sex ed, then it's still about healthy relationships.
Yeah. Kids are starting to have sex at a younger age now.
Yeah.
The actual sex ed that they get, I think the number is 13 or 15 out of the 50 states only have it like anatomically and like biologically correct. The rest of it, like, it can just be whatever.
And it'll be like abstinence only, which, I mean, that's been proven
Let's be real.
again and again that it's not. I mean, it would be great, but it's not what happens. It's not real life.
Right. I think a lot of kids just get caught up in the media, really. It's just a lot of sex in the media, and people think that's what relationships are for. Like, instead of just building first and then growing into that stage, I feel that that's more popular.
And that's again, at a younger age, that's, if you start to believe stuff like that, you're setting yourself up for the rest of your relationships, for the rest of your life. Is like, oh, I'm in a relationship, so I have to do this, or I'm expected to do, I mean, whatever. It doesn't have to be sex related either.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a tender age to be learning those things. So I think we need to educate younger.
From a health point of view, what do you think is the best way to cure or curb the sexual anything that's going on like at such a young age, like 9, 10, 11, 12? Back then, we used to play dodgeball when I was young.
I know.
Technology taking over, I'm telling you.
I don't even really know the answer to that. But if it's happening, I think just acknowledging that it's happening and not pushing it to the back burner or hiding it, or like, 12-year-olds, they don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they are doing that, then tell them how to do it safely, because it might not be right. It might not be something that everyone approves of, but if it's happening, it needs to be done safely.
I think parents have become naive. Well, they've become naive once they have kids. It's like they forget about the things that they used to do. And then once they have kids, it's like, you're not supposed to do this. It's better for you to inform your child about something and tell them, instead of telling them not to do it, because that's when the rebellious side comes out of children. I see that a lot in the community.
And that's something we talk about even in our consent workshops, as far as even really young kids. It doesn't have to be, it's all age appropriate. You can talk about things as they come up, or not even so much age, but like developmentally, things you see they're starting to get interested in boys or girls. You acknowledge, like, you kind of bump it up a little bit, but even down to like when they're little, like, no one can touch you. That's your body, and you can't touch anyone else that's without their permission. It's just kind of a gradual increase, and that's something that I think everyone thinks that sex talk needs to be like a one-time, like, you sit down and you have this really dramatic thing, but it should be an ongoing conversation.
And never talk about it again.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be an ongoing conversation that's kind of building up with the development of whatever age they're at.
Did your parents give you a sex talk, both of you?
No, I had one after, like, I had sex, like, but it was like, it was just you're not having it, right? And then it was just that. I wish I would have had someone who said that, do this. I've learned from this, and it's not the best way to do it.
I had sort of in, like, when I started high school, but I was really naive, like, in high school, and I totally had I don't know what I was doing. I had my head in the clouds, I guess. I had no idea what was going on. And now, I mean, when I went to college, my minor was sexual health. So I don't know what happened there, but I flipped the other way.
I just had a book.
A book?
Yep, I had a book, and it was a cartoon book, and I would just like bring it, and I would like talk to my friends about it, and we would giggle about like the pictures.
I did have a book, actually, now that you mention it. I remember that. That's funny.
I remember me and my sister writing in this girl diary, like, nasty stuff when we got in trouble for it. But I'm like, well, how did we know? Like, how did we know it was bad and we wrote it? Like,
yeah. And again, if you're not talking about it, you don't know if it's bad or normal
Right.
or abnormal. That's why, I mean, just got to be open about things.
I want to be able to have the kind of relationship with my child where in the like her partners or his partner, like parents, like if we could all go get tested together, like just so everyone is like on the same.
Yeah,
on the same
I did that with
page.
my friends when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah.
How did it go?
I mean, it was like you go with all your friends, so you have something to talk about, and you're not like super awkward, and you can fill out the paperwork together. And then you obviously can't probably go in with each other unless you're okay with it. You might let them know that you're okay with it, but it took a lot of stress off. It's really not even supposed to be a stressful thing, but like there's so much hype about like getting tested, so you just think that like something's gonna come up, even though you know that you've been safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully you've been safe.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff changing. What are your thoughts on what was that? The Title IX.
Title IX? Well, there's, I mean, a lot to it. I haven't read honestly. I don't even know how, it must be like really long, but I haven't read the specifics, but mostly what I've heard from it is with our consent workshops,
Okay.
and that a lot of people don't realize that they have rights at their college based on other, like outside of sports. So rights to how their school responds to something like violence or a sexual assault, and people don't know.
Yeah. I'm not really into or don't know much about what the school laws are. I guess it's just like I just stay to myself so I don't find myself in situation or harmful situations. So it's like, what tips can you give to people or students so they can stay out of harm's way?
Well, so I would say a big thing that goes across the board is to be aware of what's going on around you. So whether you're just walking around on campus or you're at a party, just because, I mean, you can deny it, oh, like you can't go drink, whatever, but it happens.
Right.
People are doing it. So being aware of your surroundings. If something doesn't seem right, chances are it's probably not right. People, if you see, again, something we talk about in consent workshops or bystander intervention talks, is if you see someone who's been just drinking and drinking and drinking, or someone's been feeding them drinks like constantly and they're falling all over the place and someone's trying to like leave with them, just say something.
Yeah,
you don't have to there's really, if they want to do it, they're going to do it when they're sober. So
Right.
it's kind of,
It's like a what would you do situation with a lot of these scenarios.
they might put up a fight, they might be mad at you, but when it comes down to it, you know that you did the right thing.
Yeah. And they're going to thank you the next day.
Yeah.
I swear they will.
Yeah.
Are
Yep,
you?
their best interest in mind. So.
Yeah. You brought up therapy dogs. What goes on in the therapy dogs workshop?
Well, therapy dog workshops, definitely by far my favorite, and I will talk about that constantly, is we bring in Colleen Babcock from Horizon Health Services, and she has a whole presentation about everything about therapy dogs and service dogs and emotional support animals. And I had no idea that there was that much. I knew there was a difference between a service dog and a therapy dog, but I had no idea what that really entailed and what rights they had. So is a really interesting workshop learning about how so a service dog is covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act. So if you're driving drunk in your car and you have your service dog and your service dog gets injured, you're liable. You can get in trouble for that, just like if that dog was a human. Yeah.
Really?
That was crazy to me, and that's awesome.
There's a lot of time that goes into training those dogs.
Yeah.
How long?
I'm not sure. For like, it can go, well, it's an ongoing process too throughout their lives, but I know it's a really strenuous process when they're puppies, and that's for a service dog as far as helping someone, like assisting them with their day-to-day lives. Therapy dog actually that requires a little less because they're not being trained to turn light switches on or dial 911 or identify someone who's about to go into a seizure. They need more of like they can sit and stay and they do
the emotional support.
Yes. And emotional support, actually, that's a whole separate category, is they are, if you have an emotional support animal, you go through and you have to have a diagnosis from a mental health physician, and you register with, there's a couple different organizations and you can pick one, and once your animal, which it could be really anything, it doesn't have to be a dog, it doesn't have to be a cat, it could be whatever. They have emotional support ponies. That's a real thing. And no, maybe those were the therapy ponies, but either way, I thought that was cool. So with emotional support animals, though, you can bring them to, it doesn't matter if you are trying to live somewhere that says that there's no pets allowed, they have to be allowed. And then the other thing is on airplanes, they have to be allowed.
But you would probably have to buy two seats.
If it's, they said if the dog, because it's like a discrimination thing, they can't make you buy another, they can't make the dog go under the plane, which that always like terrified me. I would never want my puppy there. But you can buy him a seat to make him comfortable, but I think Colleen said that they can also, you can have him sit between your legs. Like even if they're big, there's still a little room there, but
That's
probably
not
more
comfortable.
It would probably be better off just buying him another
What
seat.
about like a German Shepherd or God forbid a Saint Bernard?
I know.
That gotta be uncomfortable.
In that case, you probably just want to buy another seat.
But in those cases, like, you don't have to train them to turn on light switches, whatever, but they have to pick up on your vibe. So if you're about to have a panic attack, they can calm you down.
Yes. And that's actually the emotional support. I found that was the most interesting because I really didn't know that existed. I was thinking it was like a therapy dog, but then after listening to her workshops and everything, it's a whole different, that dog doesn't have to be okay with other people. It has to be generally like good in public, but it's only really there for you. So it doesn't matter if it's like you can have a do not pet, like this is like don't touch the dog.
Yeah.
Because it's for you, it's not for, but a therapy animal is the opposite, where it's for everyone else and you want people to pet them and love them.
Now, when the dogs are being trained to, they actually get trained to turn on lights. Doesn't matter how high the light is.
The service animals, yeah.
Yeah, for service animals, that's all. It all depends.
They would probably have to have accommodations.
Yeah.
Like if there's a light switch hanging, the string's gonna have to be a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised though. Like I highly recommend that workshop. Not just because she brings a puppy to play with, but because I learned so much from that. And every time I sit through it, she has something a little bit different that I pick up from it. That they have dogs now that can sniff out cancer cells.
Really?
They can sniff out changes in your blood sugar to warn someone that they need to take insulin or consume sugar.
Would they bring you chocolate or something?
Yeah. They got
Really?
their little packs on them. It's crazy what they can do.
It's got to be similar to like Air Bud, the dog.
Yes.
That's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing
No.
that. I'm picturing that golden retriever doing stuff.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
No.
It's a good one though.
I didn't know that. So like, what? Okay, so what would happen like during a fire? Like, what does the dog do?
Wake you up, or if you're sleeping.
Just whatever they're trained to do. They know what to do. They know how to. So they could be a seeing eye dog. They could be. They do
I wonder how long the training is. That's interesting.
a long time. I know it's a long time, and I know a lot of the dogs don't make the cut. Yeah.
Auditions?
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
What's another good workshop that you like?
I really like the stress workshop. We were talking a little bit about stress before. We usually bring in like mandalas for everyone to color while we're talking about stress. And we get good reviews on that, is that people like you ask people, when's the last time you colored? And they don't, like, I don't know. And it's relaxing. It's kind of puts you almost, they've equated it to almost putting you in a meditative state, is doing something with your hands that you're not really thinking, you're just doing something.
You're focusing
mindless.
on staying in between the lines.
Yeah.
Only, that's it.
Mm-hmm. They sell adult coloring books now, like everywhere, and I think that's the coolest thing. They do have them in the bookstore here. I saw them, and I was really excited about that.
What's an
the
adult?
difference?
Yeah.
It's coloring books that are probably a little harder than the ones. They're not like little princesses and stuff. They're just like cool designs.
Somebody
Doctor
going
Who.
to pay the bill.
Yeah. Cool designs and
No.
stuff.
That would make me throw the book away.
How about do your part?
Do your part. That's like our umbrella program, or the term that we use for pretty much everything we talk about, because a big part of what we talk about is bystander intervention, and that's just exactly what it sounds like, is standing up for if you see something that isn't right, if something is a little off, even you just have the slightest feeling that something's off, to say something or do something. That can be passive or it can be active. It can be you called the police if it was that severe, or you just say, hey, cut that out, you sound like a jerk.
Yeah.
It can be, there's so many different levels of that. And do your part is really just asking our students in our Buffalo State community to intervene when needed, or just to do even the little things, to don't throw your cigarette butts on the ground,
Yeah.
or
Don't litter. Something
yeah,
like that.
just all the little things. It really encompasses everything.
I'm looking at the videos.
Oh yeah. I've made a few videos. That's like my job for
Yeah.
WIGO. So it's like a lot of people attention spans are getting smaller, so I have to put a lot of stuff in like X amount of time. It's kind of fun.
We
I
have
like
great
it.
videos too, the ones that
Yeah.
Vera has made.
Are you familiar with the Take Back the Night?
Yes, I went last year.
Oh, okay. Which part did you like the best?
Wow, I like the domestic violence dance.
Oh, I really like that one too.
Yeah, I did too. That was great.
I think the best part of the dance was at the end, like when somebody rung the doorbell and then they'll just look like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the best mask for people that really goes through that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very common.
Which videos did you make?
The one with the president, the intro,
Oh, there's only like 5 here, so I didn't know.
and
if
the
you made
outro. Me and another colleague named Aujane she doesn't go here anymore, but we both worked on it. Do you remember the part where they talked about the man who saved the girl from jumping off the bridge?
Yes, and then he came in at the end.
Barton. is
Yeah,
his name.
yeah.
I was so surprised that other people didn't understand that he was right under the video. I'm like, that's him, right? Like, nobody else? No.
He was the sweetest person ever.
Yeah.
Met him the night of the event, like backstage, and he is just like, he's a huge guy, and he is just so humble and so sweet.
Yeah.
I love
I rode
him.
the elevator with him.
Yeah.
I think the most crazy part about that video, watching that video, is that so many people drove by that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wasn't there.
And that's bystander intervention. That's
Yeah.
what we try to get people to do, is
Do your part, yeah.
don't assume that someone else is going to take care of it,
Yeah.
or that someone already has taken care of it, because that's kind of the society we live in, is we assume like, oh, that's not my problem.
Right.
Or also we kind of think like, if I get involved, then it's going to come back on me in some way. I'm going to get in
That's
trouble.
really scary.
Or I
It's a
might
really
get
scary
harmed
thought.
too,
Mhm.
yeah. Or that
Yeah.
person may harm me.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is a lot of people's issue, because it's like you don't want to go out your way to help a stranger, but then it's like that one time you probably do need to help that
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, that's what a video that we've shown a lot is. It's like really dramatic, but it's I think it's a little girl being like, they're pretending that she's being kidnapped, and she's saying, help, but you're not my father. She's screaming and everything. And people walk by and they just look and then they ask the people after why they didn't. They're like, well, I assumed someone else was taking care of it, or I assumed she was being a brat, but she was saying all the things that you tell your children to say, like, you're not my father,
Right.
help me, leave me alone, all that stuff. So that's scary.
Yeah. Especially when, like, nowadays they tell you if you're being raped, or you can't yell rape because people will pass by, you have to yell fire.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that.
I've heard that it comes around a lot now.
Yep. I've
Really?
heard that.
People like will walk the other way when they hear rape because it's such a big issue. But if you hear fire, people always want to be a next hero.
Yep. You say rape and people get scared. They don't want to get involved, and
I've never heard that.
Mm-hmm. We talk about that sometimes too.
Wow. So
Crazy.
what? Okay. So wait, no. Because it's like you're not allowed to say fire if you're in a room full of people. That's like false claiming, and then you could get in trouble for that, right? So
I don't know. Is it like legal or just
Right.
like moral?
That's, I guess, I'm not really sure about like the legality of that, but I think if it came down to you were trying to get help and you were in a legitimate situation, if you weren't just like goofing off and saying fire,
The boy
whatever.
who cried
I've
wolf.
never heard that though.
Yeah, that's
How long has that been out?
I've heard that for a while now. I'm not I don't think it was, I don't know if it was something that was like published ever or anything. I don't know. Do you know?
I can't remember. I can't even remember the last time that I remember. Like it's just a thing in my head that I know.
Exactly. That's
Wow.
just something that I've picked up along the way, is that people respond to fire but not rape.
There was this girl maybe like last week or the week before out by the what is it, near like Grant Street, that area where that far away parking lot is, and she was like there, and you could see her that she was like walking and like all her bags broke, and she had just came from like the grocery store, so like all her groceries are on the floor. Everybody's just driving by and walking by, and I just like walk up, I'm like, are you okay? Do you need help? She's like, I really do.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, just stay here, let me get my car.
Yeah. And that's what do your part is all about.
Yeah, you
That's-
did your part.
Yeah.
I
you
just
did.
could not believe how many people just walked by. You could just tell she was just wanting to cry.
Yeah. That's
I think as people, we just sometimes get so caught up in ourselves, you know, which is kind of it's selfish, really.
Yeah. I think the big one that kind of scares me is that someone wouldn't want to get involved because they don't want to deal with like the legal side. Like, oh, if I did this, are they going to turn around and sue me for something I did to try to, like, if I tried to break up this fight, is someone going to come back legally after me? And
Or if you try to resuscitate somebody, you could
Yes,
like break a
CPR.
rib or
Oh, yeah.
man,
you're
there's
actually
so much.
protected now for that.
Oh, you
so.
are?
Yeah, Good Samaritan Law Act.
One of them.
Yeah, one of, I can't remember the last one.
That's
But yeah.
that's really interesting because that like I don't actually know CPR, and I feel like I
Me
should.
either.
And it's actually, they do offer CPR on campus here. So if you contact Weigel, for free, I believe.
You have to go through a certain training for how many hours?
It's not as many as you
Is it?
think.
It's not Red Cross.
5. The one we do here is, I think it's American Heart Association.
Oh, that makes sense.
But they're the same CPR, just different people who give you your little card. Something else that people might not know is, do you guys know what Narcan is?
No.
What?
Narcan?
No.
That's another workshop that we offer, is
Telling on
opiate
people?
overdose,
Oh.
and so opiates and heroin. And we have trainings on campus here. We're trying to do them once a month, and you go through the whole training about how to use Narcan. It's this little drug. You used to have to inject it, and now it's actually just a nasal spray.
Yep.
So if you think someone's in an active overdose, you can just spray this in their nose, and it will basically, it causes the receptors in their brain to release the opiate to pull them out of that. They still need to go to a hospital. They still need help, but
they won't OD.
yeah, that's another bystander kind of thing that actually, again, with the Good Samaritan law, is that I believe, I'm not sure what the extent of that is covered, but I know if you were engaged in some sort of illegal activity, or you're underage drinking or whatever, if you call the police or call emergency people to take care of the problem, you're not going to get in trouble for that, for what you've done, because you saved someone
Help
else's
them, yeah.
life.
Another program here is RAD, right?
Yeah.
That's through the UPD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't taken that, but I actually kind of want to.
I would really like to get one ticket. Maybe we could do like an Empower Hour Rad like group.
That would be
Oh.
cool. I want to do it. It sounds fun.
We don't have a whole lot of people here at the actual radio station that would want to do it. Maybe we can do it as like an Empower Hour thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
That'll be fun.
Because we actually had Amy Pedlow from UPD. She's the assistant chief, and it was really interesting when she came on.
She's awesome. I like her.
Yeah.
She bikes back and forth from like Boston to New York. I think it's either New York or New York City.
Really?
It's like a 260-mile bike ride that she goes on.
Oh, man.
That's a long
Every
ride.
year.
Every year.
That's crazy. That's
I
so
know.
cool.
Even on a stationary bike.
Yeah.
No.
And then you go on hills and all that.
Right.
Oh, man.
Mm-mm.
It seems like if like I might consider it. It would be really hard, but it seems like if it was something where you pay like this amount of money and then you knew that all your food was taken care of, all your hotels were taken care of, like you could get a lot of people. Because imagine the scenery with that ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool. It would definitely be awesome. I just know that.
But not like a week or like a 2 week. How about we do it for like a month?
Yeah. Let's take it slow.
Exercising is like another way to like relieve stress.
Yes.
Which is one that I really like.
Yeah.
So
Try to
that
get
and
back into
music and what else?
Music is a great one.
I really like TV shows.
Yeah. Netflix, binge watching Netflix. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
There's also a website, cokeandpopcorn.ch, and you can watch all of the current shows.
That's cool.
It's usually
I've
up
never heard
within.
of that.
That's what I usually. I like. It's up within like 24 hours.
What is it?
Cokeandpopcorn.ch.
Oh, it sounds like a TV website.
Yeah.
It's just like your streaming stuff.
Okay. I
When-
haven't been watching a lot of TV lately.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I can never focus through like going from one week to the next. So I end up, if I can watch it at Netflix like on a Saturday
And
and
then
watch it
binge
all
wa-
day. That's how I go.
Or DVR.
Yeah.
I'll keep
So-
track of like 20 different shows, and then I can spend the day catching up on all my shows that week.
What's one of your favorite shows?
My favorite, I just watched Narcos,
What is
which
that?
was really, really, really good. It's about Pablo Escobar, basically Colombian drug cartel, awesomely rich man. It's so cool. I recommend that.
Is it a
Okay.
show?
Yeah, on Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Is it a Netflix premiere?
I think so.
Which brings me, if either of you watch Hemlock Grove, that just came back.
Did it?
No,
I
I've
didn't
never
watch
heard
it.
of that.
That's a Netflix original.
I love
Mm.
Orange is the New Black.
Ah, yes.
I
I did
haven't had a
not. I
chance to
was
watch
not
that
okay
either.
with the last season. Everybody still went crazy and like nothing happened.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what? I still love it though.
I
haven't
like the
watched it.
characters. I just like don't like all the drama that's around about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a bunch of women packed in a tight little area. There's gonna be drama.
Mm.
Did you ever watch the show Revenge?
Mm-mm.
You should watch that one.
Yeah?
It's already over and everything. I was really upset when it ended. But I
Oh.
love that show.
I remember the commercial or whatever. The only thing
Yeah.
I really watch when I have time is Love and Hip Hop. Empire, I have to catch up on like 2 episodes, and I miss Power.
I have I've been told to watch Empire.
Mm-hmm.
There's that
This is the second
Showtime.
season.
There's the show. Every time I hear Empire, I'm thinking of the show. It's a Showtime show with Kristen Bell, and I can't remember what it is. But they're all consultants. I can't remember what
can't-
it's called.
It sounds familiar.
I watch a lot of shows. I'm up on all like the Marvels, like Arrow, The Flash. I also watch Gotham. Gotham I don't find as interesting, but I'll watch it just because I've watched it this far.
My fiance just started watching.
With
Gotham.
Jada Pinkett, right?
Jada, I think she might have been killed off. Do you know if she was the lady?
She's
watched it?
she's a lady with short hair. I remember seeing the previews.
Okay.
She was mean, like
yeah,
real mean.
she's dead. She got pushed off a building.
Really?
Yeah.
She gone.
The
Dang.
penguin pushed her off.
Dang.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
No,
not
not
gonna
for me. I
watch
haven't
it.
been watching
I'm not
it.
gonna watch it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't.
But there could be listeners out there that haven't caught.
Sorry. My bad. No, but that's what else is good for relaxing.
Wow.
I haven't gotten a massage in a long time.
I had a massage once, and it was the best thing ever. we got a couples massage. We actually won it at a bridal show, and it was awesome.
When is relaxation night for the students here?
I can't remember the date. It's coming up. It's in December. So
Like the first week in December, right?
Yeah, I think.
Isn't it during CEP or no?
I'm not sure. In my head, it's the
No.
10th, but I don't know if that makes sense at all. That might
It
be
kinda makes
completely
sense.
wrong.
Or like we're done by like the 15th.
Yeah,
Is it
because
the
it's like
15th? The second. It's in the teens.
finals are in the teens, so I
Mhm.
think it is probably like the 10th.
Yeah. So right around there. So
I've never actually went to that.
they
Me
bring
either.
in massage therapists, and it's great.
Do you have to pay?
No.
No.
It's all
Is there
free.
usually like a line?
No, not really. There might be a line, but you can basically sign up and then walk around and do the other things that they have going on, and then come back and check and see when your turn's coming up.
I'll have to
Really?
check that out this time.
Yeah.
I haven't went. I've been here for a whole year and I never went.
Yeah.
I've been here 2 years. I just always look and walk away.
Yeah. They have they had, at least, I don't know about how they did it in the past, but at least last semester they did a list, and it was, they just called your name out when it was your turn.
Because you
or
can get
like when you
your
were
nails
coming
done
up.
too, right?
What was that?
They do your nails too, right?
They don't have someone to like do your nails necessarily, but we have like all kinds of nail polish. And
Oh, and
fun
you do
stuff.
your own.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is in relaxation night?
We had a mechanical chicken wing last last
What does that
time.
mean?
It's like a mechanical bull, except it was a chicken wing. It
Does
was
it move
pretty
the
cool
same way?
looking. What?
Does it move the same way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda.
yep, the same thing where it tries
I
to.
forgot
like,
all about that chicken.
What about a Jello pool?
that would be cool.
What?
And kind of gross also, but pretty cool.
Have you ever? It's a Netflix movie. It probably wasn't originally, but The Best Night Ever or something along those lines.
I think I've heard of it.
I'm only thinking of flubber when I,
I
when I think of Jello.
Oh,
When you said
haven't
that,
seen that movie in forever.
I like that movie.
I haven't either.
I love that movie.
Do you know when they might come out with new information about Take Back the Night?
I want to say that I don't know if you have a calendar up there at all, but maybe the 13th. It's in April.
Yeah. I'm just
Is-
like, when do they start posting information? When can people like be a part of it or help out or volunteer or anything along the lines?
The beginning of next semester is
Yeah,
when we'll start.
after.
And we'll really, especially on social media, so on our Facebook page, Twitter, all of that, we will start putting info out to get volunteers and get people to perform, and we have all kinds of tasks for people with that. It's a huge event, but I love it.
I seen that you could do training to do your own workshops. Like, what do you have to do to do your own workshop here?
So typically the way that works is maybe someone is a volunteer or an intern with health promotions. It doesn't necessarily have to be the case. We've had people come to us with their ideas. We give them feedback. We give them ideas about how to further what they've already got, and they go and they do their own workshop.
How do you get people to go?
That's a lot of times
Free
it's-
food.
Yeah, free food is a great one. Definitely the people that we have that'll come to us that they want to do their own program, but they want help. Those are, they might be RAs or Greek or student organizations in general, all different groups that come to us and ask.
Open to the public or just open to the school?
It depends on what it is. So if it's their events for like their Greek organization or something like that, it's typically not open. But as far as for our volunteers or interns, when we train them to do workshops, which they can either develop a new workshop and we work with them to develop it, or it will be one that already exists and we kind of do a train the trainer, so they learn how to do the workshop that already exists. And those are the ones that usually we present that are open to the campus, and those you can see on our newsletter, and those are the ones we post on social media.
I'm looking at the Wego Health Center website and making sure that we look over everything.
Good.
We are a tobacco-free campus.
Yes. Yep.
Is it to the point where we have specific areas where people can smoke, or just never on the campus?
It's the way the policy goes is that there's no tobacco use, including the e-cigs or vapes on campus at all. So I think the policy says that you can smoke in your car. I'm not sure about that. We don't have the receptacles or anything because people were just throwing them. We did the clean sweep last week and we're picking up cigarette butts, and it would be like a pile of cigarettes in front of a trash can. It's like, really? It's right there. And that's actually the biggest, one of the biggest reasons that the students, it was in 2011 that they did a survey about whether or not they wanted to adopt the tobacco-free campus policy, and that was one of the biggest reasons is the litter, because people make messes. And the filters, cigarette butts, those are not biodegradable at all. They actually never go away. They might one day, but...
I brought up Buffalo State's, so the relaxation day just says December.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
it's usually like the second week though.
Mm-hmm. Right before finals.
Yeah.
in November, we have the office that's doing it is the Office of Equity and Diversity Beyond Boundaries Dare to Be Diverse film series.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Are You Smarter Than Grant? That's done by USG.
Mm-hmm.
Diversity Dialogue and Gender Myths, also done by Office of Equity and Diversity. And then the next two are Weigel Health, Bengal Pause Tabling on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Great American Smokeout. Did you say exactly what the smokeout was, or you just...
The smokeout is actually, it's an event, a nationwide event that was created by the American Cancer Society, and it's a day that they kind of challenge people who smoke or use tobacco to basically quit for one day. That's all that they're asking is you quit for one day and just see that you can do it and understand that it might be hard, but you can do it. They encourage you to use that as your quit date and to continue on with that. But it's really, when it comes down to it, it's a challenge just to show you, to empower smokers and say, you know what, I did this for this one day. Maybe it's not as hard as I thought, and I can do this.
How often do people actually know of the smokeout?
I see it around on again, it could be on my Facebook because I look it up and everything, but like I've seen people post about it, and I knew about it in the past before working with Weigel, so I don't know, it must, somewhere along my college years I'd heard about it before, and like I said, it's a national event, so it's out there.
If you gave out free T-shirts that said something like "I'm participating in Smokeout," people might hear more, and then if they hear the word "free" and they tune right in.
Oh yeah, the free
gets you, especially in college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
all the time.
So I'm not in college anymore, and I still love free things. I don't think it goes away.
So, is there anything that you wanted to add, or any different shout-outs you wanted to give?
I guess maybe just want to remind everyone what services we have at the health center. You don't have to, this is at the Weigel Health Center, not at Health Promotion, that you don't need to have the school's insurance to utilize any of what we have, but we have USG's dental clinic and the counseling center upstairs, and then also in the health center there's you can get Plan B, STD, STI testing, HIV testing, which is rapid and is 20-minute appointment, so it's really fast.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's free. They have you can get everything from, you have a sore throat, you need to get prescriptions. We have Rite Aid Pharmacy comes in every day from, I believe it's 12 to 3. Yep, 12 to 3, and they will bring your prescription even if you didn't have it prescribed on with the campus doctors. You can just contact Rite Aid and they'll bring it to you, which I thought my school didn't have that, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
Does Buffalo State take no fault?
What was that?
Does Buffalo State take no fault?
I don't think so. They give you a list of physicians around the area that do.
Is that an insurance company?
No fault is if anybody that's been in a car accident needed any kind of prescription or doctors or MRIs or anything like that.
I don't think. Okay, so the only thing that they ever run through the insurance is prescriptions or your prescriptions or any lab work.
Yeah.
Anything else, like your actual visit, is free. So if anything, you would go there and if they prescribe you something, then that gets run through your insurance company. But it's not really that the appointment is taking your insurance. It's more of the pharmacy or the lab.
Yeah. So MRIs, all the scans that you have to go to the doctor or what's on the list they give you.
Is the dental clinic only like teeth cleanings, or do they do like root canals and bigger stuff?
They don't do the bigger stuff. They do. They have the full X-ray machine that goes all the way around your head, which that's super expensive. So that's something you can utilize if someone was gonna go get their wisdom teeth out and they needed that X-ray. They could do it here at the school for you for like way
$15.
cheaper. Is it $15?
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome.
It's like way more expensive.
Yeah.
$15 for like a meeting. Because I went one time to get my teeth cleaned and I was supposed to go back, but I didn't. But I just felt good like after I left out of there.
Yeah. They're so sweet there too.
Yeah. The lady teeth so white, like the lady who does the teeth.
She
so
probably does
pearly
whitening.
white.
They have teeth whitening too.
Well, she probably has to have white teeth.
Yeah.
She's representing.
Yes. But they did offer, they had like at the beginning of the school year, I don't know if it was like a promotion or what, but it was like $55 teeth whitening, like they go through the whole thing and give you the tray. I mean,
they do it at the mall too.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
They do everything at the mall.
Yes.
Was there anything you wanted to add?
What do I need to add? No, I don't have anything to add. Thanks for coming.
We have a nutritionist or a dietitian, on campus too at Weigel that you can make appointments with. That was one more I wanted to throw in
I did
there.
not know that. I think I tried to look at something, but it was just like a picture and it's kind of like coming soon. Is she new?
Yes. Yep. This semester she's new.
We also had somebody. Who did we bring in from
Shannon.
Houston?
Shannon Hockwater. She's a teacher and a trainer.
Yeah, the dietitian is here, I think like 1 to 5 most days, and she actually, if you look at our newsletter, we have like a whole little blurb about her, the one that we put out. It's on the website or kind of posted around campus.
In the bathroom stalls.
Yes, in the bathroom stalls. Some light reading.
Everyone can see.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Lexi.
We're going to bring some commercials up. I'm not sure. Hopefully next week we should have FC Buffalo coming in from 5 to 6. They took over the Empower Hour, and there was the little spat that we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Grid. A digital frontier. I tried to picture clusters of information as they move through the computer. What did they look like?
Listen online at WBNY.org. We are Buffalo's original alternative, WBNY.
For too many parents, a baby's first steps aren't just a milestone, they're a miracle. Made possible by volunteers like you who walk in March for Babies. The money you raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org to take the steps that help make milestones and even miracles possible for thousands of families. Who will you march for?
Attention Buffalo businesses! Did you know that underwriting could get you noticed and recognized from people all throughout the local region? For only a fraction of the cost of what you would pay for commercial radio airtime, 91.3 FM WBNY has been an integral part of the Buffalo community since 1982. But did you know that we are a non-for-profit student-ran organization? And for us to maintain our daily operations, WBNY counts on the student activity fee here at Buffalo State, as well as the contributions from you, the local businesses. For more information, contact the WBNY underwriter at 716-878-3080 or by email at wbnyuwd@gmail.com. And thanks as always for listening to Buffalo's original alternative, 91.3 FM WBNY.